All right, let's figure out what's going on here. Okay, I got a whole bunch of people that didn't turn in that worksheet. So you need to do that now. Okay. Okay, so am I assuming that if you didn't turn it in, that means you didn't do it?
Can you check the monitor? I'm pretty sure I know I did it, but I don't know if I pressed it yet.
Miss Mary,
Mm-hmm.
could you check what I sent you over the classroom? Like, one thing you said I do the work and I submitted it again to show you my work.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
On the coloring sheet, I forgot to show you my work, so I submitted it again.
Okay, so I'm going to go over the solving by factoring, and we're going to have a quiz on it after I go over it. Okay, don't forget tomorrow's test. Okay, your test. Thank you. Your test will be on graphing quadratics, right? So these are parabolas, right? And there's two ways that we learned how to graph it. One was the vertex form. Can I start the video? And the vertex form is something like this: y equals x minus 4 squared plus 3. That's the vertex form, okay? And then we know that the vertex is the point 4, 3. Okay. And then the standard form, that's when it's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And when we have the standard form, we have to find the axis of symmetry. Some of you did really well on this. That's x equals negative b over 2a. And then we have to find the vertex. Right? That's when we take this x and we plug it in and figure out what y is. And we know the y-intercept. Right? That's the c value. Okay. And then remember when we graph it, so let's just pretend, bless you, let's pretend that's our c. And if this is our axis of symmetry, and let's see, here's our vertex. So remember we just fold it over and we get that mirror image?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how we graph from standard form. Also on the test will be solving by quadratic formula. And solving by factoring. Okay.
Could you go to the top so I can try all of that?
Bless you. Okay. All right, so let's look at the solving by factoring again. Okay, so solving by factoring, we use what we call the zero product rule. Okay. And basically what this means is if I take two things, right, two things and multiply them together and I get 0 as an answer, what does that mean? One of these has to be 0, at least one, maybe both, right? So that's what we do with our zero product rule. So when we have something factored, like 7x minus 2 times x plus 1 equals 0. Well, this is multiplication in between here. Here I have two things that are being multiplied to equal 0. Therefore, at least one of them is equal 0, if not both. So what we do is we take each one of these parentheses and we set it equal to 0. Right? So here we get 7x equals 2. So x equals 2 over 7. That means if I were to put 2 over 7 in here for x, right? Let's just look at this parenthesis right here for a minute. 7x minus 2. Well, if I put 2 over 7 in there, 7 times 2 over 7 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. So, yes. So if x is 2 over 7, then this parenthesis ends up being a big fat 0. And if that's 0, then 0 times anything, it doesn't matter what's in this parenthesis, is going to equal 0. Right? So we know that if x is 2 over 7, that I'll get 0 as an answer. Yes.
Do we have to show that it equals to 0, or do we just leave it at x equals 2 over 7?
You can just leave it as x equals 2 over 7. Yeah. Yep.
And we don't have to do both?
Yes, we're going to do the other one also.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, so the other one, we're going to do the other one also. So subtracting 1, we get x equals negative 1. So there are two possible answers to this problem. And that's x equals 2 over 7 and x equals negative 1. Yes. Yes, I did. Okay. Okay. Yes.
So when you do division, is it when it has a variable next to it, or it doesn't?
If the number's next to the variable, that means multiplication. This is 7 times x. So to undo the multiplication, we divide. Okay. What if I had something like this? What if it was 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 5 equals 0? How would I solve that?
Make two separate.
Good, two separate equations. So then we're going to solve each separate equation. These are just two separate equations.
Back and forth.
Okay. And then do what?
Divide by 3.
So x equals negative 4/3. That's one of our solutions. And then the other one, we're going to add 5. And then we'll divide by 2.
That's it.
That's our other solution.
That's it? That's it?
Well, it gets harder
That's what I said.
because I already factored it for you, but now I'm going to give you one that's not factored.
Okay, we're learning something new right now.
No. You know how to factor already. You learned how to factor earlier this year.
You subtract.
I subtracted 4 from both sides. Yes.
So after you factor, you have to do that? So that
Yes. Yes. So it has to be equal to 0. Very important. This is key to the whole thing. It must equal 0. Okay, it absolutely must equal 0, right? Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at one that's not factored. How about x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0? Okay, does it equal 0?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's factor it. It has to be in factored form. How do we factor this?
We should do x squared minus x.
Would it be -2 times 1?
Good. X minus 2, x plus 1. This is not anything new. We learned how to factor a long time ago. Okay, this is
Okay.
nothing new.
Learn how to do that. We're starting.
Now we're applying it somewhere else. Okay,
Why wouldn't it be -1?
because -2 times -1 equals +2.
Oh, so you're trying to get it.
So we need to multiply to equal -2, but add up to -1.
Oh, we did 0.
Yes. Okay.
The last problem had like 35 as an A. Like, what would you do if it's like multiple?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Like the last problem was like 35x squared, and there was like multiple. I was kinda-
On the worksheet?
On the handout, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one like that.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to set each one of these equal to 0. So then we solve these two little equations. X equals 2, x equals -1. Okay. Okay, let's look at it a little bit harder. Am I going too fast? Did you guys not get that? All right, let's do 3x squared plus 23x equals -40. What does it always have to equal?
So we do
0. So what do we do?
add 40.
Good. Add 40 to both sides. Excellent. Okay. These are the problems that require the Murray method. Remember the Murray method?
No.
Okay. We're going to factor the 3x squared. That factors as 3x times 1x. It's the only way of factoring that. And then we're going to factor the 40. We've got 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. Okay. We're going to pick one and we're going to see if it works.
That
So,
equals 23, correct?
yes.
Yeah, equals 23.
So let's try 4 and 10. So what we do is we cross multiply. 3x times 10 gives me 30x. 1x times 4 gives me 4x, and that does not add up to 23x. So that didn't work. So I'm going to try something different. Before I abandon the 4 and 10, I'm going to just switch the order. Put the 10 on top and the 4 on the bottom. Does that work?
No.
It's 12x plus 10x. That's close, but it's 22x, so that didn't work. So it looks like the 4 and the 10 will not work.
It's 5 and 8.
Okay, let's try the 5 and 8.
Put the 5s on the bottom.
5 and 8. Okay. So we're going to have 24x plus 5x. Oops. And that gives me 29x, so that's not right. So you said switch it.
Yeah.
Right, 8 and 5. So I get 15x plus 8x, and that equals 23x. So now my factors, what are my factors?
3 and 8 and 1 and 5.
3x plus 8, x plus 5, and that equals 0. Okay? Now that it's factored, we just do the same thing we've been doing. 3x plus 8 equals 0. X plus 5 equals 0. So we get 3x equals -8. So x equals -8 over 3. And here we get x equals -5. Those are my two solutions. By the way, when we find these solutions, what we're actually doing is finding where that parabola crosses the x-axis. We're finding where it crosses the x-axis.
Wait, so how would you mark down 8 over 3?
We have to estimate. It's negative 2 2/3, so we have to estimate where that is. Okay, let's try another one.
We have to do that in
No, you won't have to do that. Yes.
On the test, do you want us to show the work to show it equals 0?
You mean this part right here?
Like how you did before when you plugged the 0.
Oh, no, you don't have to go back and do that. No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Okay, how about this one? How about 6x squared minus 19x minus 20 equals 0? Okay, what do we do first?
factor the 1 and 6.
Yeah, so we'll try 1 and 6. So remember, this is harder because it could be 2 and 3. So we'll try 1 and 6 first and see if that works. And now the 20, so one of the numbers has to be negative, right? So I got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. One of them has to be negative. Nico?
I forgot. If you do like 6x and then the 1x under it, would it be like, would it get you the wrong answer?
No, it won't. It'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to try the 4 and the 5. Remember, one of them has to be negative. Okay, so this is going to give me 24x plus negative 5x, and that's real close. That gave me a positive 19x.
You have to put 4 negative.
Make the 4 negative and the 5 positive. Good. So my factors are x minus 4 times 6x plus 5 equals 0. So x minus 4 equals 0. 6x plus 5 equals 0. X equals 4. The hardest part about these is factoring it. So there's our 2 answers. Okay. Okay, we're going to have our quiz now.
You got it. You switched the sign on the 4 and the 5.
Yes, because then it will give me negative 24 plus 5x.
Miss Mary, our quiz is over problems like this, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you have to do the Murray method if there's a number in front of the x squared.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, everybody have a calculator?
Yeah.
I got you.
Bro,